Hello guys, welcome once more to another video in our YouTube channel. So in this video we are going to be talking about Nahpi, which is the National Higher Polytechnic Institute in Bamenda, which is under the University of Bamenda. So we are going to be looking at the exam questions that's for the 2019-2020 academic year, paper 1. So those are the instructions. It reads each question carries 1 mark. Now the duration is 1 hour 30 minutes for the whole exam. Alright, so I'm just going to display the questions, not solving. You can solve and you give your solution, your answers in the comment section, and then later I'm going to upload the solutions to the various questions, specifically the numerical answers. Alright, so there is question 1. It's on functions, finding the domain of definition of a function. Now as you can see, those are the various responses. Now there is question 2, solving a Napierian logarithm quadratic equation, finding the set of values of x that satisfy that equation. Question 3 is on integration. There you can use integration by parts, because you see x times cos x, a function of a function. Now question 4 is on complex numbers. As you can see, just properties of raising a complex number to an even power or to an odd power, whether a multiple of 4. You can use that concept to solve that question. Question 5 is on circles. To find the center of a circle, you either complete the square of x and y, or use a formula to get the center of the circle. Question 6 is find the radius of the circle. First of all, you need to divide all through by 2 to make it to look like a circle, because for you to get a circle, the coefficient of x squared and y squared should always be 1. So you start by dividing all through by 2, and then you can look for the radius maybe after completing the square, or you use the formula after finding the center, since you know the value of c can be gotten easily. Now question 7, the square root of this complex number. Yes, you can equate the square root to maybe a plus bi. You square both sides to find the value of a, find the value of b, and then you get your response. Question 8, that's permutation and combination. Question 9, the argument of the complex number. Remember, the argument of the complex number just represents the angle that the complex number makes to the positive x-axis. So to find the argument, you first of all start by plotting the complex number. You identify the quadrant before you start finding the argument. Alright, so let's move on to question 10. So generally there are always 30 MCQ questions everywhere in the entrance examination into Polytech Bamenda. 30 questions everywhere of mathematics. I have no idea about physics, but in subsequent videos I'm going to upload physics. So question 10, asymptotes to the curve. It means you need to use your concept of limits, using your limits very well. But nevertheless, you know that if you take f of x minus this 2x minus 1 here, and you look for the limit as x tends to plus or minus infinity, if it gives you 0, then clearly y equals to 2x minus 1 is an oblique asymptote. You see, because you see a, b, c and d are all oblique. A, b and c represent slanted asymptotes, meaning oblique asymptote. D is another function. So you just need to look for f of x minus 2x minus 1. Clearly from that equation it gives you logarithm of x plus 1 divided by x minus 1. You look for the limit at plus or minus infinity. Clearly it's going to give you 0. So automatically A is correct. Guys, I'm not actually solving, I'm just giving you hints. Now question 11, find the center of gravity of a triangle that I've given you the various points. So all you need to do is to plot the point to find the length of the triangle, and then now you apply the formula. I have a video here in this channel where I explain how to find the center of gravity of triangles. So question 12 is limits. You can just use the concept that as x tends to 0, that is very small, the cosine of x tends to 1 minus x squared on 2. You fit there and you get the limit automatically. Question 13 is still on asymptotes. To find the asymptote of this function, how many asymptotes exist? So you find the vertical, the horizontal, and the slant if possible. but generally for the advanced level, when horizontal exists, then you don't need to find slants. So clearly you see that the limit at plus or minus infinity is 2, which is the horizontal, so that's the first. It means the slant will not exist. Now as x squared minus 1 equal to 0, x equal to plus or minus 1, that's 2 vertical, so at the end we get 3. Not difficult. Number 14, you just need to take 100 as 10 squared, they equate the power since they have the same basis. We find the value. Equation 15, you have two integrals, then you need to find the value of their sum. Now to sum the integrals, you see that when you sum, you can just combine, you can just sum the integrands together because both integrals have the same limits. So at the end, since they have the same denominator, you just sum the numerator, and when you sum the numerator, will be equivalent to the denominator. It cancels and you just be integrating from 0 to pi on 6 of the x, which is giving you x. You see, and when you fit pi on 6, automatically you get option A. Question 14, question 16, the sum of this series, you need to identify if it is geometric or arithmetic. If not, you need to use another possible method. But clearly here you see that the difference between the ratio between any two consecutive terms is negative half, so it means that it is geometric. Now since it is geometric, does it converge? Yes, because the absolute value of negative half is half, which is less than 1. Now you're finding the sum to infinity because of this dot here, we don't end. So you can easily get the sum to infinity by using the formula, the first term on 1 minus the common ratio. Here in a new production process, the number of parts in the first week of operation is 500. If the number of parts produced per week increases an average of 10, what's the expected number of production in the first 10 weeks? Alright, another easy question to go to solve. Now question 18 is some probability, and here we have a bag containing 2 red, 3 green and two blue balls. 2 balls are drawn at random without replacement, and then you should find the probability that one of them is blue. Just get to your tree diagram and then you find your probability easily. Question 19, still on limits. As x tends to infinity, plus infinity specifically, what does that limit tend to? You can just start by dividing top and bottom by e to the x, and then now you know that as x tends to infinity, e to the x tends to 0, so the reciprocal with as x tends to infinity plus infinity, e to the x tends to plus infinity, so the reciprocal will be tending to 0. So clearly if you divide all through by e to the x at the end, I think you're going to get 3 divided by 5. I don't know, just try and you give your response in the comment section. Question 20, an even function. If a function is even, then f of x is the same as f of negative x. So the first function is not even, the second function is not even, the third function is even, the cosine function. So that's going to be the response. Alright, a numerical sequence is defined by this, that's a recursive nature. The value of u2, you know how to get u2. u2 is when n is equal to 1. So u2 is equal to u1 on 2 plus 3000. I need to find u1. u1 is when n is equal to 0, u0 on 2 plus 3000. We do, and then we substitute. The probability of obtaining a head in the toss of a coin and a prime number in the toss of a die is probability of obtaining a head. Remember here we are dealing with an, so be very careful. In probability, the question you should ask yourself is an addition or multiplication? Is or addition or multiplication? From there you get, because to get a head when you toss a coin, the probability is half. To get a prime number when you toss a die, how many prime numbers are there? Now a die has 6 numbers, 1 2 3 4 5 6. How many prime numbers are there? 1 is not a prime number, 2 is a prime number, 3 is a prime number. So those are the only prime numbers there. So we have 2 prime numbers. So the probability of getting a prime number is the number of prime numbers divided by the total number of numbers, which is 2 on 6, which is 1 on 3. So at the end, you have probability of, that's obtaining a head is half, getting a prime number is 1 on 3. So you do it and then you get your response. So the main thing here is you're using an, so you should think if it is addition or multiplication. I'm not going to hint you. Alright, 23, that's simple proportion. 24, the solution to the differential equation, you can send 2 on the right hand side. You integrate both sides after separating variables. Remember the constant of integration because you're going to integrate indefinitely. 25, you're solving a quadratic inequality. So we need to make it so the right answer should be 0, and then you look for the, maybe if you can factorize it, you look for the critical values, you go to the number line, and then you bring out the solution set. 26 and 27 is based on the table that you can see on your screen. 26, the value of k. Now, since the random variable capital X is a discrete random variable, it means that the sum of all the probabilities is equal to 1. So 1/3 plus 1/6 plus k plus 1/6 plus 1 on 12 is equal to 1. You get the value of k. Now the expectation is just equal to the sum of x times p of x equal to x. So when you get the value of k, what you do is that the expectation, you take 1/3 times 1 plus 1/6 times 2 plus the value of k times 3 plus 1/6 times 4 plus 1/12 times 5. It gives you the expectation. Alright, number 28 now. Just express a complex number in the form a plus b, where a and b are real numbers. We need to look for the value of a, which is a real part of the complex number. All we need to do is to rationalize, multiply top and bottom by the conjugate of the denominator, which is 3 plus 2i. So the conjugate of a complex number is just got by changing the sign in front of the imaginary part to get the conjugate automatically. Now 29 is a clear question. The inverse of the Nahpian logarithmic function is the exponential function, or you can equate ln x to y. You find x, which is e to the y, and then the inverse now is e to the x, which is b. Alright, and finally question 30, the slope of the line tangent to the curve at x equal to pi ln 2. You just need to look for dy by dx. You give you -7 sine x. Now you fit x equal to pi on 2, and sorry, is x equal to pi on 2. Yes, so you get -7 times sine pi on 2, which is -7, and you don't see any answer there. So maybe I made a mistake while typing the equation. I don't know if it was pi on 4 or pi on 3, but anyways, I'm going to give that in the comment section after verifying the question again. Alright guys, so that's all about the video. Endeavor to subscribe to the channel. In the next video, I'm going to be uploading 2018, 2019, and also 2020, 2021, 2022. Yes, so I'm going to share a WhatsApp link to the comment section, because on Monday we are going to be revising 2021, 2022 mathematics, all the 30 questions together in the WhatsApp group, specifically via Google Meet. So I'm going to share the Google Meet link on that day, but hopefully I'm going to share the WhatsApp link so that if you're not there and you're preparing for the entrance examination into the National Higher Polytechnic Institute in Bamenda, you join us. Alright, so endeavor to subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications. Now we have a website. Here you can see www.mathafric.com, though it is still under construction, but hopefully with time everything is going to be ready. Alright, see you in the next video, and thanks for your time.